Guys, I literally almost fell down, but let's walk and sit down. um, I just wanted to talk to you guys about how you can affirm yourself as a transgender woman. Look, I'm gonna be so for real with you. In the over 10 years that I've been transgender, I've experienced violence, SA, employment discrimination, everything that you can imagine, and more. And the one thing that's actually helped me get through the, the journey of being trans is learning how to affirm myself just as a human being, just as a being of light, as a transgender woman who is a two-spirit. So I'm gonna go through 10 truths that I've learned as a transgender woman. Truth number 1: you have to love all of you. Understanding that there was the boy you and the female you. There was the female you and the boy you. Whichever side of transition that you live in, you need to embrace all parts of yourself. You cannot live in hatred to the version of yourself that was the gender that you did not align with. You need to look at that person with love instead of trying to change who you once were. Instead of trying to deny or fight against who you once were, you need to get to a point of appreciation and love. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. People will always use the fact that you were born as one gender and transitioned to another against you. People will always say that, oh, you're just a man, or you're just this, that, and the other. And if you have not reconciled within yourself, if you've not done the healing where you've gotten to a point where you love, appreciate the version of yourself that was not the aligned gender that you truly are, if you've not gotten to a point where you can look at that person with love, then you will always get hurt. So learn how to love the person you were before transition. Number 2, understand the beauty of being androgynous. Celebrate the beauty of being in between everything. I think more often than not, as trans men and women, we are so fixated with getting to a point of fitting into cisgender society that we do not appreciate, embrace, and love all parts of us, including the parts that are androgynous and do not fully fit into the gender binary. When we talk about the transgender flag, like, there is one color in the flag that literally stands for androgyny. Celebrate it. Number 3, get a therapist. I'm being so dead ass. I know, like, we are all conspiracy theorists, and we all think that there's nobody else who hasn't lived my experience that could possibly tell me how to live my experience. It's not about that. It's, if you are transitioning, there needs to be an outside person who is not biased, who is able to help you decide which hormone replacement therapy you're going to use. Oh, excuse me. Who also helps you to understand and learn how to work through the stages of transition. Look, the first 4, 5 therapists I had, they had never really dealt with trans people, but they knew how to do the work. One of my therapists, one of the best things she told me when I was dealing with gender dysmorphia and dealing with transphobia just on the streets and whatever, she told me, do 3 things when you're walking and people are judging you. You know how these earth holes be when we're just trying to exist. She told me, as you're walking, and if there are people who are laughing at you and making fun of you or trying to bully you, what you need to do is, I want you to focus on 3 things. 1, things that you can hear outside of what they're saying. 2, things that you can see outside of what they're doing. And 3, things that you love about the nature and the surroundings. You need to internally create a space within yourself where you ignore the BS, where you ignore the ops, where you ignore everything that everyone else is saying, and that you focus only on what makes you happy. And when you learn how to do that, that is one of the things that helps you get better within your transition. Then, so I think I'm on number 3. Number 4 is forgive yourself. Learn that you need to place yourself on the list of the people that you forgive. It is not only about forgiving your mom and your dad and your ex-boyfriend, but it's also about learning how to forgive yourself and give yourself grace. Number 5. It's gonna go against number 4, but understand this. Sometimes, if you've been someone who always forgives, you need to get to a point where you learn how to distinguish when it is appropriate who to forgive and who not to forgive. Sometimes you need to intellectually place yourself at a point where it is not so much that you are invested in the energy of forgiveness or not forgiving, but so much that you are invested in the energy of keeping score, holding tab, to protect yourself. If you've ever been a victim of being mismanaged by your parents, you know what I mean. Sexually, emotionally, physically. You may have gotten to a point where in order to adapt to life, you actually forget the trauma that you've gone through, and you actually automatically always forgive. Sometimes it's important, even if you naturally just forget shit, that you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm putting on the scoreboard that this person I'm not forgiving because they have acted 1, 2, 3 according to my pattern recognition and what I've seen from them, and according to a record that I've kept of them. I'm not playing this game with them anymore. So they're on the list of people I'm blocking and not forgiving. And I'm doing it more for me and my own self-preservation. It doesn't mean that they're bad. They're someone else's gift. Fuck off. Number 6, you need, as a trans person, to understand the simple biology of how people are born. If you are transgender, baby girl, let me explain it like this. You're only transgender if you are born one gender but feel like another. The only reason I'm transgender is because I was born male. And I wanted to be like what? A female. Meaning there's a difference between male and female. Meaning, in order for me, even as a trans woman, to exist, it means there needs to be something that is defined as a woman and something that is defined as a man in order for me, Christabel, to be defined as a transgender woman. Yes, understand that there are different versions of womanhood. But understand that in order for me to be trans, I recognize that biologically, scientifically, I am different from a natural born woman. And it's important for me to understand this because in understanding this, I can deal and face the insults that people throw and hit on me when they say, oh, you're a man, this, that, and the other. You're not a real woman. You just want to be like me. I can be like, clock that T. I was born male. That's why I want to be transgender. I don't necessarily want to be like your raggedy ass, but I want to be, or rather, I'm aligned to the divine feminine. So you're not insulting no damn person. I think am I on 7 or am I on 8? Number 8, work through whatever racial inferiority or superiority that you may have as a trans woman and as someone within the queer community. I've always, because I've been mainly in terms of media, in terms of LGBTQ plus media, in terms of pornography, been exposed to schmexuality in a white body. And I've also, through internalized racism, been made to believe that it is only Western palm-colored societies that accept me as a trans woman. Thereby that means I need to be with somebody who's palm-colored. No, that is false. When we talk about the trans experience, it is Indian, it is Native American, it is African, it is Bulgarian, it is Russian, it is Thai, it is Filipino, it is Indigenous, Aboriginal, Australian. It is everything that we are as human beings. And you do not have to align your schmexual desire to what is palm colored. Girl, learn how to love people who look like you. You don't have to be with no palm colored dude or gal or whatever. So I'm gonna go to number 8. Number 8 is really learning that it is okay to look transgender. We have this obsession where we want to look cisgender, and then we get angry when cisgender women say that we're trying to copy them. We're trying to look like them. That's what facial feminization is. And if you are a trans woman who visibly looks trans, babe, it's okay to look like yourself. You will experience more transphobia than someone who is passing, and I hate that word, but it is okay to look like yourself. And if somebody ever says to you, you're just trying to copy natural women, you're just trying to be a biological a woman, don't even answer that. They're just trying to get at you. They're just trying to hurt you some. You know what you're trying to look like. Never allow another person's words to influence your dysphoria. And let's go to number 9. And I'm going to take you to my room for number 9. Because number 9 refers to the bedroom. It refers to how we, as trans women, are experienced. More often than not, our transitions are decided by the desires of men. They are decided by the desires of, oh gosh, they are decided by the desires of men. Let me just charge my laptop. They're decided by the desires of men that want to experience us schmexually. There's so many trans women who have decided to not have SRS surgery despite having gender dysphoria, despite sometimes using a knife or a blade to the member downstairs. There's some trans women who even can't look at themselves showering, but because they got with a guy, they decide they're gonna keep that ding-a-long, that anaconda. They will deal with hating themselves because they don't want to lose this guy. And then delude themselves into thinking that he's still gonna stay with me if I change this. No, he's not, girl. You know Don't stop your transition because of a dude. Don't do it. I think that was number 9. Number 10. What's number 10 that I've learned? Number 10 is never base your transition on whether or not you're going to escape transphobia. When I began my transition, part of the reason that I was so brave and part of the reason that I jumped into it was back in 2010, 2011, I actually also believed that I would have so many surgeries that I would just disappear into the cisgender world and never have to experience transphobia. Now, if I knew that I would experience transphobia, I probably would not have transitioned because I would have been too scared. And I would have had a horrible life. I'm so happy that I did not know what challenges awaited me I'm so happy I did not know what blessings awaited me. If you are transgender, you're transgender. That is who you are, relative to everything else. Love yourself, embrace yourself, never base the success of your transition on how men or women accept you. Bitch, they're always gonna be funny. They're always gonna be funny. But I want you to understand the love, the joy, the excitement, the happiness you will experience from just being your authentic self is unparalleled to anything you've ever experienced. How I get through transphobia, and this is going to be number 10B, is I love walking. I love seeing people's reactions to me because I am a literal doll. I love people's appreciation of my beauty. Yes, it scares me whether I know if they are transphobic or not, but I just love experiencing life as this beautiful, I'm gonna dance for y'all, as this beautiful trans woman. And it doesn't matter how many challenges I've had. It doesn't matter how many challenges I'm still gonna face. I love being myself. I embrace every mistake, every challenge, every hardship, because it makes me me. And if you're about to transition, baby, know that there's a whole community of people that are going to love and support you. Know that it will have challenges. Challenges that only the strong can survive. Listen, if you ever decide to transition, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to happen within a year or 2 years. It will be your entire life of you having to fight for the light that is inside of you. But I promise you it's worth it. Baby, I statistically shouldn't exist. I should have been 6 feet under a 35, but I'm nowhere near that. I began this journey in the year 2011. I was bullied. I had pew-pews put to my beautiful head. I was bullied by college professors, beaten up, thrown into a pavement, told horrible, horrible things, but somehow I survived, and my life, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it because I get to be myself every single day. And I live a life where the people who surround me see me as I am. At no point do I ever have to pretend or hide anything about myself. That is what transitioning is. It is about living in pure authenticity, no longer being afraid. Yes, you will lose tethers. Yes, you will lose people who never actually had your back, but you will gain so much more. If you do decide to detransition, baby, I get it. Baby, I get it. If you do decide to detransition, I hope you did have some fun whilst you were trans. I love you. And for those that are about to start their journey, for those that are in the beginning stages, middle stages, or what even might feel like the ending stages, I want you to know that you're loved. I want you to know that despite the chaos of the world we live in, you are one of the brightest lights. You are gonna be okay. You're honest, babe. If I could survive the nonsense that I went through, believe me, you will get through this. Wherever you are in the world, know that you will be strong. You'll be okay. I love you. Auf Wiedersehen. Bye.